Welcome back to Rising Voices here on ConexcionLatina. We have a great show here for you today where we have the amazing Luis Velasquez, such a empowering leader here in our generation, but most importantly in our town, in our hamlet of the town of Islip. When we speak about leaders, it starts from where we are today, right? It starts about how some people keep motivating us and the people that are there for you. When I speak about Luis really has been there for me. And I can say that because, there's really days where I'm not feeling well or, things happen for whatever reason, but Luis is always there. And that's really great because that's more of the people we need today. It really starts from home. It really starts the family traditions, and most importantly, who brings that big and powerful message to your life, and who is there to really motivate you and to be there for you in the tough moments. So thank you, Luis. I'm going to start off with that because I feel like I was not going to leave that out of the show without really saying thank you, because I think we need more people like you. It's sad where some people feel lonely, or some people feel like they don't have anyone to speak to or text or talk to. But it's great to have some people that are really there and that you don't even have to ask for help. They're just there no matter what. So we're going to start off with that. But I'm going to also start off with really the organization that started this podcast, other than our help from, most importantly, Liga La Justicia. It really started off from the vision of Student Advocates of Long Island and how we could provide positive change beyond the screen, beyond the hours of work, of volunteer work throughout Long Island. It also began with how can we provide a platform for Student Advocates of Long Island and the youth to have a space and really speak and chat for a little while on the needs and the importance of the community. So I'm going to start with you, Luis. I want you to speak to me about what led you to being such an empowering person, such a driven and motivated person to just, help out.
So what led me to how I currently am, I can't necessarily say it came from other people. It came from a lot of feeling things out, learning as I went, and taking example from other people that I would see. Just like with what you said earlier about me being like open to texting you and seeing if you're okay, that was something where I never necessarily had that person or anyone like that for me. So I try to be that for other people.
Yeah.
And so that leads on to every other thing that I do. Everything that I try to do is always for a reason. Well, not a specific reason, but it's always to be that example for my sisters, to be more than what I am right now. It's all about wanting that continuous growth and always wanting to help other people.
And that's great. And I think when you speak about siblings, it's really important to have that strong bond and communication with your sibling. But I'm speaking about this because, I have a sibling coming soon. I have a sibling in March. Thank you. I have a sibling coming in March. And, something I'm thinking about is how can I be the best version of myself for the little one that's coming around the corner? And I think I already see me and my sibling go, just going to an event or, being with family or spending time with one another. I think I grew up in such a solidarity moment where I was just there by myself, whether it was with my turtle or whether it was with my dog or the fish that died the next day. It was just those little moments where I was it's sad because I was just there alone. I was all lonely, but it began with how could I, other than just being lonely and, being so solidarity, and being alone, how can I provide a platform on how to give back and how to help out my friends, my colleagues, my family members, and anyone who really needed me? Because, being really, really young, I know before I was 10 years old, I had to go. I went through some stuff too. I went through some family issues, and I think those family issues really brought me to feel like I was alone, like I didn't have anyone. And I think when we speak about, how people make an impact on you, it really starts from home, right? It really starts on how I can be a platform and how I can be a better person for the people that are there with me on a day-to-day basis. So, I like the wording that you use on how you care for your siblings, on how you're there for them. I'm not gonna make fun of this, but it's a nice moment, to see your profile picture on Instagram be you and your family, right? You see on people's Instagram pictures and it's selfies of them. Hashtag Tristan. That's Tristan right there. It's pictures of him. And it's like, why? It's like, why do people post selfies of themselves? And I don't. To be honest, my profile picture is a baby picture of me, and that's because I don't want to post no selfies of me right now. Like, if you see my professional account, it's just a nice suit and just like a picture of me, ija. But when you see my the account that I use to speak with my friends or anything, it's a picture of me as a baby. But to see your profile picture of you and your family, that speaks volume, and it speaks volume because it shows how much you care. I feel bad because I feel like sometimes people don't have these relationships with their siblings or with their family members, and I feel bad because I speak to my friends sometimes, and they tell me that they don't have that support system, they don't have that family or that parental figure that is really there for them. But when I speak to my friends, I really tell them, if you probably don't have that parental figure, you probably don't have that friend, but if you ever need something, I'll be there for you. And that's what sometimes people just look for. They just look for that I'll be there for you. There's people that I haven't texted in a while because, now they have their own life. They're with their boyfriends or their girlfriends. And I text them to, keep them updated. What's going on? Is everything okay? All that. But I do that not because I want to be nosy. I do that because if they need anything, they can count on me. Right. And that's something that I really wanted to point out, because you are that person where no matter how I'm feeling, you'll text me randomly and say, hey, Andres, hope all is well. What's going on? Are you okay? How's everything doing? And that really speaks volume on how people in this generation are. We hear all the negative parts about life, but there's always that little spark of the people who really speak volume and the people who really bring a smile or really are just there for you. And that's those people and those types of human beings are you. There's people like Irvin. There's our MBK fellows where we be acting crazy in those group chats, but at the same time it's really, we're having fun, and at the same time we're there for each other, which is really great. And I say that because whether it's current fellows, whether it's past fellows, whether it's volunteers, whether it's board members from volunteers, whether it's our friends, whether it's our colleagues, whether it's our own family, we have a platform where we can create a better story, where we can create a moment on how we can be there for each other no matter what. So, and I want to leave that with people. I want to tell people that, if you're not feeling okay, speak out. Right? There's always going to be people there for you. And something that I was reading this morning on the news, and, people call me viejito because I be reading the news, but I see the news for what's happening today, right? And I see it because I feel bad for the youth that are suffering out there in the world right now. I'm a person that really believes on food hunger and how we can feed people and how we can really spread a message on how we can. No one should be lacking of food, right? Everyone that goes home should have a meal on their table. Or when they open that fridge, they shouldn't just see a tomato. They should be seeing a packed fridge, right? And that's something that really is sad because, there's people who don't even have fridges, who don't even have a roof. But to see that the people that really are just there to give back, to show some hope in people's lives is really amazing. And I say that because we live in a community like Brentwood where there's so much needed people, right? There's people every day. There's people that we walk the hallways with and that we don't know how they're feeling, but probably inside they're like, man, I'm going to go home and I don't have a meal to eat, right? So, and I leave people with this. I leave them with, speak out if you're feeling that you don't have the resources you need, right? People are scared because they come from immigrant families. They lose their hope on the American dream. But I tell people that no matter where you come from, you have the opportunity to, be here. If you're serving, if you're giving back to your community, you have the right to be in this country. You have the right to, speak out and to get resources. There is millions and millions and millions of resources out here across the island just for food hunger. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, listen, and especially I tell the newcomers who come in from different areas, whether it's around the island or across the country, I tell them, you know what, if you need a meal, there's Island Harvest, there's Long Island Cares, there's the food pantry in your own school building where you can get the resources to pack that fridge, right? To, feel happy, to know that you have those resources and that you don't have to worry on, if I'm going home, I don't have anything to eat. Like it's that powerful passion that you have to have and that motivation that you have to speak up with anyone who's around you, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a colleague, whether it's a friend, and tell them, if you need anything, I'll be there for you. And that's great because, hearing that sentence, hearing those 3 words, I'll be there, is really powerful because I feel like you, Lewis, embody that person of, always telling people, I'll be there for you, right? And when I hear of you, you remind me of Irvin a lot. And you remind me of Irvin a lot because when I speak to Irvin and when I speak to you, you both have that sense not only of humor, but you both have that sense of, being there for your friends. Being there for the people who are around you, who are surrounding you, and being there for anyone at any cost. So, and that's great because it really has to take courage. It has to take passion to give back, and it has to really give you the opportunity to, be, at the same time of, just being there, you have to show that you care. You have to show that you're optimistic, and most importantly, having that bond with that person. But most importantly, you have to have that compassion to be like, are you okay? How are you feeling? Or, even a simple hello, a hi, a high five, a hug might change someone's day. So, and that's great with today's topic on how we can give back, and that topic of I'll be there for you, because, we lack on that in our generation these days, where people feel lonely because of the friends they have. When I hear people saying, "Oh, I have a friend, but he's out right now and he's not helping me," I get it. I get people have lives. We all have lives. But I feel like a simple checkup in one day, every day, if you have a friend, if you have a close friend, a best friend, text them every day. But text them a message that, are you okay? How are you doing? How's everything? Right? And I say that because you have to have, and it has to come from the heart. You can't really just send that message because, you know what, I saw that my other friend sent me that, so I should just send that again.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? You have to have that passion to be like, you know what, I'm going to send that message and be like, what's going on? Like, how's your day going? What are you going to be doing today? Like all that. Not to be nosy, but to check up on that person and to make them feel heard. All right, Lewis, we're going to go to the next question. And I know that was a long question, but how do you define success as a leader?
So success as a leader to me would be, it can be measured in different ways, essentially. For example, like with Clean the Streets, success would be, we were able to get a few streets cleaned up, no, garbage or bottles on the floor.
Yeah.
It all really depends on what your plan is, what your goal is, and what has been done to get closer to that.
Right. No, and that's great because the word success has different meanings. Definitely. It has different meanings on personal growth. It has different meanings on how you can provide outlets for different people. And it really brings warmth to your heart when you're completing something or when you're having success. And when you speak about Clean the Streets, that is impactful because Clean the Streets really has been a powerful moment and a powerful idea that came to our hamlet of the town of Islip. And it's amazing because of the work they do. And I'm proud to be a part of the committee. It's my second year being a part of that committee of how we can, clean our streets, but not only once a year. How can we clean them every 3 months or every 2 months? How we can make our cleans safe for our younger generations and for the people that walk the streets every day, whether they take a bus from home to school or whether they're taking a bus to go to work or to go to the city or to get on the train. How can we make the streets cleaner? How can we make the streets safer? And how we can make the streets available for everyone? And I read this on a post a couple of days ago on, it's called the Islip Forward. Islip Forward is a new organization that's forming right now. And it's an organization on how the town of Islip, how we can make it better. There's a new plan coming out in 30 years on how we can make the town of Islip better. And something that they really want to provide is a shuttle bus for our community and for everyone. And that's great because, when we hear about free transportation, that is really needed today. Because when we see the rise in prices of, gas, for example, that is insane. When in some communities it's like $2, some other communities are like almost $5, $4, and it's insane because people are working on the dollar for gas, for food, to keep their families safe and alive and to have a roof over their heads. So when we speak about success, it's on how we can create a better version for everyone, right? And how we can create a better life for everyone and have that success. I feel like for someone who works, once you finish your job for the day, you feel success because you made money, right? It's not in the bank account yet, but you made that money. Or if you're going to the gym and you did a full week in the gym, you have had that success of, I completed my goal this week. Or, I didn't eat that many calories. That couldn't be me, but I didn't eat that many calories and I'm feeling okay today, right? So that's really great because when we speak about, success, it has different meanings in the way you want to put it, right? So I feel like that word success is really amazing because of the powerful meaning it has. We're going to go to the next question, but before we do, we're going to take a little short break here on Rising Voices with the awesome Luis Velasquez. We'll be right back here on Conexion Latina's Rising Voices. Hey everyone, this is Andres Rodriguez from the Rising Voices podcast here on Conexion Latina. This episode and podcast is thanks to Liga de la Justicia Abogados. Do you need a free consultation? They speak Spanish and they have over 30 years of experience. Call them at 1-800-355-1234. This is 1-800-355-1234. That's Liga de la Justicia Abogados. Hey everyone, this is Andres Rodriguez from the Rising Voices podcast here on Conexcion Latina. Do you need a free consultation? They speak Spanish and with over 30 years of experience. Call them at 1-800-355-1234. That's 1-800-355-1234. That's Liga de la Justicia Abogados. All right, everyone, and welcome back to Rising Voices. We've had the amazing Luis Velasquez here for a while now, speaking on the amazing impact he's done in his community, but most importantly, the powerful words he's spreading. Now, we're going to go on to a personal question, and this personal question is really good because everyone takes criticism differently, right? But I'm going to give you this. How do you deal with criticism or feedback?
So the way that I deal with criticism and feedback, it's not necessarily criticism at the end of the day. It is just feedback to me because from whatever I'm told, it's always seen as a way of how I can improve on so and so.
Yeah.
If I'm doing a public speaking thing and somebody says, oh, you need to, raise your voice more. Oh, you need to speak more clear. You need to add pauses. I'm not going to take it as, oh, I suck. I shouldn't do it anymore. It's more so, oh, I got feedback on what I can work on and I will work on it. So to me, that's really what it's seen as.
Yeah.
And I never take it as a negative thing. It's always as a way that people are pushing me to do better.
So you use that word, feedback or criticism, you use that as constructive criticism, right?
Exactly.
And that's good because, a lot of people, like, I don't have that, but like if I receive criticism, I'll listen, I'll hear, and we'll go to an agreement, right? Like, I agree. Like, for example, if someone tells me you're speaking too loud, Andres, I'm going to be like, all right, yeah, let me look at the video and let me see how loud I was speaking, and let's see how we can proceed. How can I manage my voice to be lower? How can I, reiterate myself and, be better, right? And not be better for the people around me, but be better for myself. How can I learn that criticism and that feedback and construct it to be better for everyone and better for myself? So that's really good because, not a lot of people use it as constructive criticism. A lot of people get mad, right?
Definitely.
Get anger issues, right? And that's normal. That's normal to have that spark and really light it up quickly and get mad. But you have to learn how to, build upon it, and how you can really, if you get that feedback, and if it's a harsh feedback, I get why you would react in a specific way, but at the same time you have to refocus and bring it back to ground level and be like, all right, Andres or anyone, you got to calm down, you got to reiterate yourself, and you got to see how we can rise to the moment, right? All right, so we're gonna go to the next question. This other question is, how do you, Luis Velasquez, encourage others to take on leadership roles?
So the way that I encourage people to take leadership roles is fairly simple. Like I said earlier, the thing that I follow is to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. With that, I've gone a long way from not being able to talk at all, or if I was asked to be in this podcast during that time, probably shivering and not being able to do it at the end of the day, to being right here, comfortable, talking with you. I've learned a lot, and all of it was from actually doing it. Yeah, there was times where I was scared or, I really don't want to do this. For example, stand and deliver. You have to stand in front of 200 people and plus? It's a lot of stuff. And I wouldn't have done it if I didn't just push myself to go do it. Before, I would have just probably walked off or been like, oh, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it. But as a representative and a fellow, I felt the need that I had to do it. Yeah. And I pushed myself to go forward and doing it.
And you push yourself out of the comfort zone, which is really good because a lot of people really get scared. And for example, when it comes to something like this, like a podcast or like anything that you're doing where it's public speaking, you get stuck. So like, for example, for myself, when I'm speaking on stage, at first, before speaking, I'm going to be like, oh no, there's like so many people right over there. Like there's important people. Like what's going on? Is this going to depend on my future? I'm going to be overthinking. But right after I say the first few words, I'm going to be like, all right, we're good. We're ready, Andres. Like it's going to be fine. Like now let's get over it, right? After the first few words, you should be done and ready. Like it's going to go quick. And that's good about public speaking, where you can learn from others how you can be better, how you can take pauses, how you can grow as a human being, and how you can use those public speaking skills for an interview, for anywhere you go, and you can use them for better. All right, everyone. Well, we're going to finish it off right over here. Really, thank you, Luis, for being that friend that a lot of people need today, right? You've really shown it a lot, where the simple messages of how are you feeling or what's going on, like those messages are something that I need, especially when you're busy or you're doing a lot. You feel stuck and you feel in a spot where like you don't know where you're going, what's next. So I'm really gonna say thank you to that, because those are the people we need more in the world today. So thank you so much.
Of course.
All right, and we are going to end it here today. Thank you for joining us here on another episode of Rising Voices. Be kind and have a great day, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.